Hello and welcome back to Your Sovereign Soul. My name is Sienna and I'm one of the coaches here at YourSovereignSoul.com. So today's topic is part 2 of online dating after a toxic relationship. My initial video actually cut off just by like a second or two. So I wanted to delve a little bit deeper into online dating after a toxic relationship. So, one of the main things I wanted to make you aware of is I know that when you leave a narcissistic relationship or they leave you, there will be, for many of you, a pull to get back into the dating world for many reasons. The main one is that you feel exceedingly lonely, and that loneliness, since you know you can't have your narcissistic person back, is sometimes all consuming, and it's quite depressing, that loneliness. And so you will desire, if online dating is your thing, to get back into the dating community. And I will give you my experience with that briefly. So I felt exactly that after about 4 months of being, 3 or 4 months after not being with anyone. I jumped on to one of the popular dating sites and got off within about 2 weeks. I talked to quite a few people in that time, and I will tell you that the energy was not good. And now, this is my experience. Your experience may be very different. But I knew that I wasn't ready. And I knew that I was looking for almost a band-aid to this loneliness. And so because of that, and because my energy was obviously much lower and my frequency was much lower, the caliber of men that I was talking to were not high. Even though they seemed like they had their lives together, their energy was, with a lack of better word, they seemed a little bit like assholes. Anyway, just the feeling of, just there was a yucky feeling being on the dating app at the time. So I got off. Not to mention, my narcissistic ex liked me on the dating app, which they do, because that's what narcissistic people do. They hoover back at you. So that was kind of a weird. And then I did get on a few months later with the same experience. Again, thinking, okay, maybe I'm ready. And I knew I wasn't. And I felt it, and it felt unwholesome. It didn't feel right getting on the dating apps. And then the third time, and that last time, the second time, my ex liked me again. Third time I got on it, same exact situation. However, I was on it the longest amount of time. I went on like 13, 14 dates. My ex did like me, and then like me again within that third time, and which was really hard. And so this last time I was on the dating site, which was at this point quite a few months ago, I told myself I would never go on a dating site again. And it's not that there is not great people on there, but I also think it is a playground for narcissistic and toxic people, because they are essentially looking for people that will give them energy. And a lot of the times the people on the dating sites, not everyone, but a lot of people they're not full within themselves. And so they're looking for someone to complete them to a degree, whether it's companionship, whether it's sexual intimacy, whatever it is. And so you have all these people that are partial people looking for another person to kind of complete them. And these toxic people and these narcissistic people know that. And like I said, it is a playground. It is a feeding ground for these people. And I was noticing when I was dating that pretty much every single one of these guys, not all, but every single one of them, had a very strong narcissistic trait about them. And I could feel it right away. And it was just like, oh my gosh, like, is there any normal man on this planet who's just a good guy who, can love and be vulnerable and not try to manipulate you or try to hurt you or be an asshole or whatever? And so it was kind of a shocking realization. And I don't think this is everyone's experience. I know a lot of my friends who've met people online who have gone on to have amazing relationships. But I think it's the energy when you get into it where you're at. And if you're at a place where you're still kind of in, like I said, in the dark night of your soul, you're still trying to heal, but you're trying to find that person to kind of um, make you feel a little bit better, make you feel not as lonely, make you try to fulfill an aspect of yourself that you haven't fulfilled on your own. I think that you're not going to find someone of high quality or a high caliber person. You're going to find someone who is as fractured as you are, or is in their own healing journey, that together the two of you, you're both kind of the blind leading the blind if they're not a toxic person. And so my suggestion for the online dating, if you are recently out of a toxic relationship, and this is my point of view, you don't have to follow it, okay? You are your own sovereign person. You know what is best by you. Do not just believe in what everyone says. Use discernment. If it works for you, do it. But this is my thought based on my experience, is I would wait at least a year to get back onto the dating sites. And in that year, while you are healing, go fulfill yourself with things that make you happy. Learn an instrument, excel your career, be more high value within yourself. Go to the gym, exercise. If you've been wanting to lose weight, lose the weight. If you've been wanting to, dye your hair a different color, dye your hair a different color. If you want to change where you live, move, allow yourself that year to really focus on yourself. If it only ends up being 6 months, great. If it only ends up being 8 months, fine. But I'm just saying, based on my experience, the longer that you have time to cultivate yourself before you jump back into the dating world, the better you will be. And that is my suggestion for you. And even though you may get back on in a year and there's just toxic people on there, and I don't think you can look, yes, you can be like, well, am I ready for this? Make sure you always have discernment. If you see red flags, cut it off right there. Yes, all those things are important. But also understand that we are in a time on our planet where there is a lot of toxic, narcissistic people. And I will obviously make other videos that explain why we are at this sort of precipice as a society, as a soul community, of why we have all these toxic people kind of coming out of the woodwork. And there is an interesting theory on that I believe, and that's my own theory, and others have thought about it as well or mentioned it in their communities. But realize we're also in a time where human beings aren't what they used to be. And so it is very important to be as strong within yourself before you go back out into the dating world. And like I said, my suggestion would be to take a year. You do what's best for yourself. Really cultivate yourself. Work on yourself. Be the best version of yourself for you. And then allow yourself to go back out there. But realize you're always going to have to go back out there as a gentle warrior, because there are narcissistic, toxic people, it seems like, everywhere, to a degree. And I always say on my videos, to a degree, because there is quite a lot of them. And like I said, more now than ever. So be aware of that. Take care of yourself. You don't need anyone but yourself. And, I love being in a relationship. I'm a partnership-minded person. For those who believe in astrology, I'm a Libra, I love all that type of stuff. But as I move through my own journey within myself, I realize that it's not worth being in a relationship with someone that brings you stress or that brings you pain or sadness or whatever. You want two sovereign people coming together to basically create a beautiful relationship. Not that we're not, all of us don't have some sort of things we're working on, but at least you're two people that are willing to work on themselves and to grow and evolve together, then that's perfect. But until then, take care of yourself. I have nothing against the online dating community. I think it's great for some people. Just be weary when you do go back on, okay? Anyway, if you like this video, shoot me a little like. If you would like to talk to someone, I'm a coach. Our information, well, my information, but my fellow coach Idana's information is below, and she's amazing. I hope this finds you well. It is a rainy, beautiful day in the Pacific Northwest, so enjoy your day and take good care of yourself.